Yeah, Houston mom Tina Baxter says her daughter is in big trouble in Dubai on charges related to screaming in public. 29-year-old Tierra Young Allen is said to have yelled back at a rental car agent who then called the police on her, and her mom says she was charged. Baxter says her daughter's passport has been taken away, a travel ban has been placed on her, and she's been told she's not allowed to leave Dubai pending the outcome of the investigation.
I've been kind of holding out on this particular story for a while because I wanted to make sure that I got all the information as correct as I could before I talked about it. But in hindsight, this is pretty much a live and learn lesson, and this is something that I talk about in my videos often, but I think these particular rules apply more so in the Middle Eastern countries. You gotta abide by the rules of the country. And unfortunately, this young lady had to learn her lesson the hard way. As many of you guys know, probably not know unless you really follow the channel, I told you guys I've had an opportunity to visit the United Arab Emirates. My dad was working in an area called Alain, and so I went to Dubai because I think it was probably a 3-hour trip or so to get to Dubai. So I had a chance to experience Dubai and Abu Dhabi while I was there. Great experience. I mean, would never trade it for the world, but I want to share this particular story with you. I was in the mall, I was by myself. I wanted to grab some Burger King or some shit. It was like a food court, and I was walking up to the line, and what happened was a bunch of kids, like 3 or 4 kids, running, bumping, and getting in front of me in the line. They kind of cut me in the line, basically. Now at that moment, I had two options: talk shit, like, yo, why the fuck you bump into me? Excuse you, this, that, and the other. Have that type of energy, or eat it. Just eat it and let it go. I chose the latter, ladies and gentlemen, because I knew I would probably be underneath the jail if I would have made a response, more specifically to the Emirati kids, let alone to an Emirati, period. I knew this from jump because I did my research and I educated myself on this shit. You don't play around with those people. You just don't. It's not in your best interest. Like, the worst thing that could possibly happen, which sounded like it happened with this particular young lady, is you get into an accident in the country. Because like I said, your way of thinking in the United States and the way you think it's going to happen for you in the United States is not the way it's going to happen overseas in a place like Dubai. And yes, Dubai is a beautiful place. It's a great place to go if you got the bread or the money, or you can find a way to work in the country. It's awesome. But the rules are not in your favor if you think that they're going to let you be who you are and act like, any way you want to in that country, right? You're not going to act any way you want to in Dubai. You're not going to act any way you want to in the Middle East, period. Because they'll shut that shit down real quick. And they're very good, and I know this for a fact. They're very good, about confiscating passports. They'll do that. So your ass can't fly nowhere. You're stuck in their country. So you can't move, can't do nothing. You're stuck there, so you have to deal with them. They're very good about confiscation of passports, especially if you do wrong. And that is the absolute worst thing that could happen to anybody. Now, I think what really goes on in this particular video, where everybody has their issue, is the simple fact that the young lady, all she did was raise her voice, and they're gonna be like, oh, well, it's a patriarchy society, or it's a society that benefits most of the men, and da-da-da-da-da, it's wrong, all she did was raise her voice, all she did was defend herself. You're gonna have those talking points. But ladies and gentlemen, this is not the United States of America, is it? This is not the United States of America. So you can't think that just because you're from a first world country like the United States of America and you have certain rights and shit, those rights are going to apply to any country that you go to. I know that for a fact. I lived in the Philippines for 10 years, no problem whatsoever, because I stuck to myself, stayed in my lane. I ain't bother nobody. I didn't act like I was better than anybody. I didn't flash my money. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. I knew what I needed to do in order to make sure that I could, maximize my time in the country, have fun in the country, but yet still enjoy myself in the country. I knew what I had to do. But every now and again, I would see foreigners get mad at the barista at Starbucks because they got their order wrong. Or I would see people in the mall talk about, this is bullshit, we wasted too much time. People who are very impatient should not go to the Philippines, I'll tell you the truth. Because I've seen people yell at people behind the counter because things were taking time. Granted, more often than not, nothing really bad happens to the foreigner, but it could, because you're still being disrespectful to the people. And it's not so much that something legal will happen to you or something by the law if you're screaming or yelling at people, but there are people who will take those justices in their own hands, because in the Philippines, and I know we're talking more so about UAE, but you know, I think the same rules apply. In the Philippines, there's a thing called saving face. Y'all know what saving face is. That means you're not going to embarrass me. You're not going to disrespect me in front of people. Heaven forbid you yell at a woman. Do you think those guys are going to sit there and let that happen? Absolutely not. You're the foreign man. You're a visitor in our fucking country, and we can send your ass back just as quick as you got here if we need to. Understand that. So with this young lady doing what she did in that country, they could throw her ass in jail for raising her voice, and that is exactly what they did. Now, if you ask me how I personally feel about it, I say it is what it is. I think you should have known what you was getting yourself into when you travel to these countries. Because I'm going to tell you the truth. If this ain't for you, don't go there. Do not go to Dubai. Do not go to the Middle East. It's a great place to go, but if you have a problem following the rules, if you think that your American mentality has a potential to get your ass in trouble because you can get away with a whole lot of shit here, don't go, right? Your energy is going to basically determine what type of trip you're gonna have. And maybe it wasn't something you were planning or expected and you were kind of defending yourself, but in the same breath, I could have been in the same situation as a man, and even I know, man, you better shut the fuck up, Mike. Better keep your comments to yourself, man. Right? Because there are things in the Philippines that frustrate me as a foreigner. But I kind of keep it to myself because it's not enough to really ruin the entire trip. So I know for a fact if I have that same energy in the Philippines, I gotta have that energy times 10 in a place like UAE. Because ain't no way I'm going to jail over there. Ain't no way I'm going to jail in the Middle East, bro. I'll fight that shit tooth and nail. Because it's bad, bro, and it's a bad look, and I don't think I'm gonna make national news, right? I don't think they give a fuck. Oh, well, a brother screamed in the, UAE. He done talked to, he raised his voice and shit. Oh, he should have known better. But you know what it is, man. It's the politics, ladies and gentlemen. It was a young lady, I believe, if I got the story correct that I saw it, I believe she was a young African-American lady. And you already know what it is when it comes to the protected class, right? I'm just telling you like it is. Oh, somebody gonna raise hell for that. They gonna raise hell for that. For me? Nah, fuck that. Just leave his ass there. He gotta learn his lesson. But for her, oh, we gonna be on national news. And baby girl looked like she was doing pretty well. They said she was a truck driver, I believe. If I got the story correct, baby girl was a truck driver. So she's making good money, and I think she just wanted a vacation, and this turned out to be, unfortunately, the vacation from hell. I wish her the best of luck, and I damn sure hope she gets home, but I also hope, and I know it's not, because nobody wants to learn a lesson half the time, but I hope it's a lesson learned for a lot of people. Y'all can't go to any of these other countries and act the fuck up. You just cannot. You cannot go to these foreign countries and cut a fool and think you just go be safe and unscathed like you would be in a place like the United States of America. You just can't get away with certain things. And that's all I gotta say, man. If you guys enjoyed the video, you already know what to do. Please feel free to share, like, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate y'all locking in. It's been a good time, man. Y'all take care. Y'all stay blessed, man. Doc is out.